Namaste, Tony Parra here. Yoga is not for everyone. Let me explain. A little primer. I've had a number of students who they identify so strongly with the works that they perform. Some students have shown dissatisfaction with how little work they had. Others who were dissatisfied with the overwhelming amount of work they had. And those who had a seemingly steady and balanced stream of work, which also brought about dissatisfaction. The issue is that if you continue to identify with, to base your self-worth and your being upon things that are known to fluctuate, like your occupation, money, hobbies, friends, family, whatever it may be, you will find yourself in a constant flux, which can be a real emotional roller coaster at times. Now, there's an even subtler, fluctuating object at the root here, one that we habitually identify our being with, often unquestionably, and that is the mind. In yogic terms, we refer to chitta vrittis, fluctuations of the mind. We tend to identify with these chitta vrittis, and therefore we lose sight of our true nature as we sink deeper into a state of confusion, of ignorance. These chitta vrittis are essentially the antithesis of yoga. You see, yoga is actually a state or condition of the mind. In the spirit of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, yoga is considered to be a willfully induced state of intense concentration. When you read through the ancient text of yoga, and many other traditions actually, you often come across parts where they say that such and such a practice is one of the greatest secrets. There's lines where they mention that you should keep these practices secret, to guard these secrets, that you shouldn't share them with just anyone. There's many instances in these sacred texts essentially insinuating a kind of elitist attitude, or that it's not meant for everyone. So now with the common conception of yoga, of course, this idea will rub many people the wrong way, right? But when you take a deeper inquiry into yogic philosophy, it makes a little bit more sense when you just knowing the well from which the comments have sprung. You see, it's just like saying that pressing or lifting 300 pounds over your head is not for everyone. Now, everyone can, of course, take steps in that direction, make it a goal, but some people are innately fit to accomplish such a task. You know, if you're naturally strong and you weigh 240 pounds, that 300-pound press will come sooner and with less effort than for, say, the 150-pound person who may not ever be able to lift that much simply because they're not generally suited for that type of work. Well, in this analogy, the 300 pounds is yoga. Yoga being the state in which we have intentionally awakened an intense concentration, through which the chitta vrittis have come to a cessation. Now, what predisposes someone or makes someone more suited for the attainment of yoga? Again, we're talking about yoga as it was described before, not just regarding postures and deep breathing. So essentially, it's one's inherent mind state, their habitual mind state. In the yogic system, they tend to break these down into 5 states of mind: Kshipta, Mudha, Vikshipta, Ekagra, and Nirodha. This is the restless mind, infatuated mind, the distracted mind, single-pointed mind, and suspended mind. It's said that the restless mind is not inherently cut out for yoga, that the most common way that this kind of mind is able to get into any kind of a concentrated state is through spite of an enemy. The infatuated mind is also not inherently cut out for yoga. Its main pathway into a concentrated state is said to be mainly through greed. The distracted mind has some promise, but it's only concentrated and in peace half the time, and easily wavers to the restlessness based on life circumstances. So it too is said to not be fit for the experience of yoga. The single-pointed mind is said to be suited for the initial states of samadhi, the samprajñata samadhi. And this can lead to the type of renunciation, salvation, or the liberation that yoga has held as its potential outcome. So too, the suspended mind is highly qualified for the attainment of yoga, perhaps overly qualified. Now, this is really good stuff, not only for practitioners to know, but it's also very helpful for teachers to know as well. When a teacher knows not just this, but the corresponding scriptures and practices that are required for each of the mind states, well, then the teacher can truly gauge the type of student which stands before them and can proficiently guide the student with practices that suit their specific habitual mind state, and thus really help that student towards their highest potential of experiencing the essence at the core of yoga. Namaste.
Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Sametha Shri Bhagavate Namah. Om Sachidananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Sametha Shri Bhagavate Namah.